I'm not just a pretty girl.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are doing an engaged questionnaire. So this is my fiance Noah, and I figured this would be the perfect time since we have our 1 year coming up, and also we're about 4 months away from our wedding, which I'm super excited about. But I just wanted y'all to get to know us. So we're going to answer some questions here that I found, and we'll both answer from our point of view. So the first question is, describe your spouse on your first date. I would say my first date, so I remember the first date, we have a glass window at my parents' house, and not glass window, glass in the door. And I remember seeing his shadow and I was terrified to open the door, but it was obviously pleasantly surprising. I mean, look where we're at. He was very sweet. He actually brought me flowers, my favorite, which we had not even talked about. Hydrangeas are my favorite. And he was such a gentleman. That was a very big first impression that I had. And he let me do the talking, which I enjoyed. I asked all the details and questions just to get to know him, and he responded the way I would expect it to expect you to respond. I think you had really good answers, and obviously that's why I found you attractive. So what describes your spouse on your first date?
She was absolutely gorgeous. Left me lost for words, even though I don't talk much as it is. I don't know.
I think that's a good answer.
Yeah, that's about the best you get from me.
Okay, so don't lean so much on the table. You're rocking the camera.
Okay.
Anyway, how did you meet your spouse? This is actually a good question. We met online. We met through Christian Mingle. I was going through a hard time, and my mom actually signed me up. I was coming out of the bathroom, and she said, sit down on the couch, we're signing you up. And the rest is history, basically. I want to say it was a Wednesday night. The next day, I saw his profile, and on Christian Mingle, you have to purchase, basically, like, if you want to have that person respond, you have to pay for it. And I didn't pay for it, but he did. And so he couldn't respond back to me. And I did some stalking on Facebook, and I found him on Facebook, and then ever since then, that day on a Thursday, we started talking, and that day he asked me out on a date on that Saturday coming up, and obviously it turned out great. But it was definitely like online relationship, online dating, which some people might be opposed to, but I think it obviously worked out really well for us.
It did.
So,
yeah.
But anyway, since I answered that one, we'll just go to the next one. When and where did you have your first kiss?
It was at your house.
It was at my house. It was basic, just, you know, on the couch. First little kiss, nothing crazy. But how long have we been dating?
Best Saturday is when I asked you out, and then that following Thursday you went out of town.
So when we got back that Sunday night?
No, it was that Thursday night. You went out. I came over Thursday, and then y'all left Friday morning.
So okay, so a little less than a week, but clearly our relationship moved fast. But I think it was, you know, it was in our own timing, and I think honestly looking back, I never felt like it was too fast or too quickly for anything. I think it's all in God's timing. Let's see. My spouse's first kiss made me think. I can answer this. I think our first kiss was very sweet. I didn't think it was too much, too little. I think that it was just enough. I don't think, like, no attacking each other. I think it was very sweet and polite, I would call it. Okay, what color did your spouse wear on your first date?
Coral. Like a pinkish.
Pinkish?
Hey.
Well, okay, what was the pants I was wearing?
White.
They were black.
They were white.
They were black. My sandals?
Brown.
They were pink. Clearly, he can't remember a thing. I remember what he was wearing. He was wearing these shoes that had black and white on them. You were wearing jeans and you were wearing a gray polo and a hat. Because first, okay, so funny story about the hat.
I love my hair.
I did not like his hair at the time. He had that style going on that he thought was cool about the whole having the long hair. If you hear some noises, we have a cat.
Hey.
And she's playing with the blinds. Hazel. She's new to us. We'll have to introduce you to her. She's a kitten, but she's just exploring. But anyway, so, and he had this hair that was like long and it was disgusting. I hated it. And so I told him, I was like, put it in a hat. And he was worried that my dad wouldn't like that. And I told him, I said, I don't care what my dad thinks at this point. I don't want your hair being seen in the world. So he wore a hat.
For like the first 2 months?
For a while until he got it cut. My best friend Katie, shout out to you, she cut it and she did a great job, and then ever since then she's been cutting his hair. So clearly we like a good clean cut.
Yeah.
So what did your spouse think about you after your first date? I was so giddy. I was like, he's the one. I just knew it. I from that night I knew it. I went home and I talked to my parents about it because they had Noah had met my parents and my parents had met Noah, and I knew from that point there was a connection. It was the craziest thing, and people say, you know, when you have that connection, there's no going back.
Well, I invited you over the very next day after to come over.
Yeah, the very next day he invited me to come over to his family's house, and I was so nervous. I remember he texted me. I was standing in Subway with my mom, and I was like, Mom, he texted me to come over to their house. What do I do? And she was like, go. And so ever since then, I mean, we saw each other pretty much every day, and we still do, considering depending on what our schedules are and stuff. So I think it worked out pretty well.
I think so.
Okay, so what was it that your spouse made you realize that they were the one?
You kind of just answered that, didn't you?
Yeah, but what was the real thing that made you think about it? Like, what was the real thing that made you think I was the one?
I just felt something I've never felt before. I've never been that happy, that excited about a single person.
Yeah, I would say so. I think also the way you answered your questions, like when I would ask you, like
we both have the same values, same morals.
Yeah, like what's your relationship with Christ? And like clearly you had one, you were attending church and stuff like that. And also a huge factor for me was making sure that he was going to stay here, where our hometown where we live, or close by at least. And he wanted to get a job on the base that we live at, and obviously that was successful. My family really helped him out getting that job, so I couldn't be more grateful for that. And that was one of the requirements from my parents, were for him to have a great job that would
be able to support us.
To support both of us, exactly. And I feel like when I asked him questions also, like, and we can do another video about that, but like our religious views and what we think about all like the marriage stuff, we would love to do that. Me personally, because as a Christian sometimes it's not seen as often, and my views are not, I wouldn't say our views are not as common, as what they used to be. And that's no, I'm not saying any shame on anybody else. I'm just saying that what we have decided for us, I don't feel like I'm any more of a Christian, but that's just something that I've had on my heart, and I feel like it'd be cool to talk about one day, but we'll go more in detail in a different video for that. Where did we go on our first date?
I took you to the hibachi place.
Yep.
So which one? I know which one it was.
They're not gonna know.
I know they're not gonna know.
People don't live near us.
Some of them may.
Ichiban's is what it's called. It's a hibachi place near us, and it was really good. I had actually never been there before, but I've been to stuff similar. And funny story, so you get a salad or you get a soup, or you actually get both at the beginning of your meal. And
tell me that story.
I had my hair down and curled, you know, so cute. Well, he doesn't like salad, so he gave me his salad, and I was like, oh great, yeah, thanks. Well, I was taking a bite, and I knew I had a piece of hair that like came off, and I thought I threw it to the side, but I didn't. I actually threw it in the salad bowl, and then when I went to eat, I noticed that I had hair in my mouth and I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to spit my food out, so I started pulling it, and then all the salad came out.
It's like a magician with the
like
cloth.
the tissues, but salad. So yeah, that was an experience, but we just laughed about it and made a funny moment, and definitely a memory to remember. But anyways, my screen, sorry, keeps going black, but that was a great first date, and we still try to go back. Not maybe to that place exactly, but like to places like that, just to, because we like that place. We like that style of food. Where did you go on your most recent date with your spouse?
Where do you see that question at? We skipped all those.
Well, oops. Oh well, it doesn't matter. Where did you go on your most recent date with your spouse? We haven't really gone on a date.
Well, depends on.
Well, we're going to dinner tonight. I don't really know. After.
Would you count the movies when we went and saw The Lion King?
Oh yeah, The Lion King was good, by the way. I guess so, yeah, that's a date. I mean, honestly, to me, I count really any time we're together.
Yeah.
I don't really think we have to specifically have a date, but actually next weekend we have a really cool experience. Don't tell them.
I'm not telling them.
But I have that video that will come out, and it show you our experience, so I'm not going to say anything.
You'll be our biggest date so far.
Yeah, our biggest one. Yeah. I would say so.
As of right now, our biggest one was the Braves game.
Yeah, the Braves game, yep. And y'all saw that video. But I feel like this upcoming one is going to be really cool and a different experience that we've never done before. Okay, last question here. You're putting a shadow on me again.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So, last question. How did your family react when you told them you were getting married?
Oh. Next.
Next. I feel like my family was very supportive, actually. I was surprised. My parents and both my brother and sister-in-law, they both got married very young. My very, very close best friend, Katie, she got married young too. It was just kind of not a thing, I wouldn't say in our family, but it's just a known, like common thing to happen in our family. And I feel like, you know, once you have found your person, why wait, you know? I think that's a good reason for me, but
yeah.
I just feel like my parents were shockingly like so supportive, and I knew they would be because I found the right person, but like they were like, okay, now what? What's next, you know? So I felt like that was really good. How do you think your parents reacted?
They thought I was moving a little quick. I've never been in a serious relationship before this, and just kind of took them by. It wasn't as
common for your family.
No, it's not. It took them by surprise, I guess.
Yeah. But I think everything's worked out really well. So I'm excited. But anyway, so there was just a few questions. Of course, we are going to work on eventually I would like to do maybe obviously like I said earlier about our views and stuff. Some people might be curious about it, and also I don't think it's a topic that's really talked about. And as a person who loves YouTube, I like to watch those. Chelsea Crockett, now she's Chelsea Hurst. She is fabulous to watch, especially because we have the same background for moral views and stuff like that. I feel like when she made those videos that it was really helpful for my soul to know that I was feeling the same way and had the same views, and I feel like that would be cool for me to do the same thing, just because some people are curious about it. And like I said, it's not against anybody, it's just what I particularly or we as a couple believe. So I feel like we can do that maybe one day, obviously, and then also in about 4 months we'll do the day in the life of a married couple. But anyway, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also hit that bell button so you get notified when I send out more videos or post more videos, whatever that is. Post more videos. But thank you for watching.